You're welcome in your bed. If you're a guest, you're welcome. We are happy to see you, even though we can't see you through the cameras. You're welcome, and let us give praise to our God this morning.
on, Jesus says this, nobody can say no. All his promises are yes and amen. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Jesus. The promises are yes. Worship you. Oh. Father, kindness, you have poured out grace. psalmist says in Psalm chapter 92, verse 1 to 4, it says, it is good to give thanks to the Lord and to sing praises to your name, all most high. It is a very good thing to give thanks to the Lord. And I invite you this morning to open your heart, to open your mouth, because it is a good thing to give thanks. Count your blessings and name them one by one. It is also a very good thing to declare his loving kindness in the morning, like right now, his loving kindness and his faithfulness every night. He's been loving toward you. He's been kind toward you. He's been faithful. It is good to give him thanks on an instrument of 10 strings, on the lute, on the harp, with a harmonious sound. You may not have an instrument at home, but you have a harmonious sound in your voice. For you, O God, have made me glad through your work. God has made you glad. And you, guess what, will triumph in the works of the hands of God. What has it done for you? What has it done in your home? What has it done for your children? What has it done for your family? In those works, you will triumph. In your business, what has it done for you? In God's works, you will triumph. Come on, friends, lift up your hands and let's lift up Jesus. He is worthy of all our praise. Let's give him praise. Let's give him thanks. It is a very good thing. Thank you. Up on the hill, on Calvary, he came from heaven's throne. Our fallenness and mercy meet.
economic powerhouses. Welcome to Business Garage, and I'm your beautiful host today, Biggie, the life of the party. Get ready to be re-energized in this series, Couples in Business. Okay, let's see who is on. As you're letting us know where you are watching us from, kindly let us know how many income streams you have. Mention them so that we know that you are really, really catalyzing this world economically. Let me see. Mebo Chiwua, I see you. Fortunate Trey, Malike Shomaza, Mariah, Peggy Navunya, I see you. Let me see who's on our Facebook. Ann Kakande Kisa, Sarah Mukisa, Saison Naiga, Sarah Ann Mirembe, Saison Naiga, and Andy, Evelyn. Start. The prize is 50K worth of airtime. So listening attentively, the answer will be mentioned during the interview, and all the best. Over to you, Pastor Chris Kawasa.
Good morning, Business Garage. You're very welcome this morning. Another day where we're featuring couples in business. And let's celebrate Stuart and Elizabeth Sebombo for joining us this morning. Stuart and Elizabeth, you're very welcome.
Thank you so much.
Kindly tell us about you. Tell us about the businesses that you do individually or together, and what problems you solve in these businesses.
My name is Stuart Sebombo, and this little girl is my lovely wife, Elizabeth Ahabwe Sebombo. And we've been married coming to 4 years now. We'll be making 4 years in October 8th to be exact. We live in Chirabutenga, one of the cities of Wachiso district. Yeah. And we serve in many spaces together. Yeah.
We currently run 4 businesses.
4 businesses?
Yes.
Together?
Yes, we are involved in the businesses together.
Exciting, let's hear that.
We started L Themes in 2014, and that's a decor and events management company. Then we Refine Limited started in 2018. Yes. It came from something that started in 2016. And then Caesar Construction, which is, Refine is an architectural firm. Caesar Construction is building, construction. We are builders. And this started in 2019. And the newest addition is Rudy Spaces, which is an interior design company. It's 3 months old now.
So you work with buildings and spaces?
Yes.
Awesome. Well, so you've been married 4 years, but you run businesses for longer than 4 years.
Yes.
So you started way back.
Yes.
Now, how has the journey been? Because sometimes 2 different people, 2 different attributes, aspirations, you're working together, but also you're making decisions together at home. How has that journey been? And what do you attribute your success to this for?
So it's been fun because when L Themes
fun.
It's been fun. Yes. When L Themes was starting out, I was one of the employees. So I would spend the nights carrying tables and moving around chairs and decorating.
Is that the events business?
Yes, that's the events business. And I was part of the employees. So it was tiresome, but it was fun because I knew what she wanted to do. And I really I was excited to teach other people and to hand over my section of the business as an employee to those people. And of course, there have been moments where it has put a strain on the relationship because the business spills over into the family space. But because we're one mind, we know that we're on the same team, it's been easy to reconcile those differences and come back to work together. Yeah. So whenever we fall and then, the stress builds up and whatnot, we remind ourselves why we started out together and then get up and push on. Yeah.
So I hear conflict.
Yeah.
As you're working, you find conflict.
Yeah.
Even at home, you'll find conflict. But the most important thing is you know why you're together.
Yes.
You have a vision which you're following and you'll stay ahead.
Yes.
Awesome. So what do you attribute your success to this far?
He has already said being of one mind, having the same faith, knowing that we are working towards one thing, and definitely being under the lordship of God, knowing that at the end of the day, we are answerable to God as individuals and also as a family. Then also, I think another thing that we know that has led to the success is accountability. Accountability, and knowing that this is not just our little thing that we are building, but allowing ourselves to learn from people who are ahead, who have more knowledge, and being accountable to them. Yeah.
Clearly, you're still young. You run 4 businesses. It's not easy, I know. What's the future like for your businesses in relation to your family? What's the future like? What are your dreams?
So our dreams, if you notice, like you say, they're all about building and spaces and things like that. And right now, we are mostly involved in services. We acknowledge that we are pioneers because it's not like our parents started the business and then we are coming to work in it. But our aspiration is that for our children and grandchildren, and even the families that we partner with, because, for instance, Runji Spaces, we partner with the Muhumuzas, a very close couple friend of ours. And the idea is our children can come and plug in, and their children can come and plug in. So we know that there are generations whose destinies are aligned to whatever we are starting. We may not eat all the fruits of the businesses right now, but we know that the seed we have planted will enable them to start from somewhere further than we started. Yeah.
So you want to build a legacy?
Yes.
For your children and your grandchildren and your great-grandchildren.
Yeah.
Awesome. Is that what the Bible tells us?
Yes.
Yes.
So tell us, what do you see? What do you see your sector? Because you're in building and spaces. How is the future? What are you planning for in terms of all these disruptions? How are you moving ahead of the current times now? We have disruptions of COVID now.
Yes.
What has kept you together? What has held you firm in this season?
So one of the things that has kept us firm, first we started working online and using Microsoft Teams and other software like that a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
We could not afford the space starting out, so we had to improvise. And it came in really handy working with people online and following up, things like that. And then the other thing that has really enabled us to move ahead of the curve is mentorship. We have a mentorship program which helps people who are fresh from campus to come and plug in and work with us on several things. And so we get to pick from their ideas, they get to pick from our experience, and you get to learn things that we would not have learned ahead. And the third significant thing is coaching. That's one of the things that has helped us really to build systems. This thing that we thought was just ours would not have survived up to this long, or would not be growing if we had not started that journey. And so that has helped highlight the things that we're supposed to build, the structures. It has pointed to us the fact that as much as we're doing services, if we are to grow and to multiply, we have to move into product as businesses. And so there are really things that are going to enable us to cover a much wider area, not only in Uganda, but in East Africa, in Africa, because that's what we're pushing for. Yes.
As we close, I'll ask you 3 questions. The first one, you can answer it last. How has your business grown in terms of figure? People here want to hear figures. Yeah. Also, where do we find you if we need you?
Yeah.
And also, what is it that you can advise a couple out there who are doing business together that they can pick up and run with from here?
I'll say the figures. In the year 2020, Elthim's revenue was about 101 million. 2019, the last year, 2019, yes. And Runji Spaces is just 3 months old, but right now we are working on projects that have a revenue of 35 million. Which other one? Refine last year was about 150 million as well. Construction.
Yeah, the construction right now we are working on projects that are worth slightly over 500 million.
Wow.
Yes.
500, 100, 35, etc. You're running for the billion.
Yes.
Yes.
All the best.
We are.
All the best. So tell us, as we close, what are you telling? One thing you're telling a couple out there who are doing business together.
And one thing I can tell couples is to try and be transparent in their businesses. Because
Transparency.
Yes.
Yeah.
Transparency as an item to do with accountability. Because when you hide the numbers, you cannot be helped, really.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Stuart and Elizabeth, let's celebrate them. Thank you so much for sharing your story this morning.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much, Elise and Stuart Selbombo. That was it from the Business Future this Sunday. Yeah, shout outs to all of you watching Couples in Business. Get this knowledge and apply it when you get married. This quote is for you. Yeah. Sandy Liz, congratulations. You won the trivia question, and you've received instructions on how to redeem your prize. Congratulations, you've won yourself 50K worth of airtime. And right about now, it's time to honor the Lord with our giving. Our mobile money numbers are 0778 618 418 and Airtel is 0758 618 418. For tithe and offering, our MTN Momope is, the merchant code is 148722. Airtel merchant code is 116003. Or you can give through our website for those in the diaspora, worshipharvest.org /give. And for the banks, Absa Bank, the account number is 6000771757. And for Housing Finance Bank, it's 0100418169. And as we give, the music team is going to minister to us. Be blessed.
Victory today. Little by little, we are taking our victory. Little by little, I'm taking the victory. Little by little, I'm turning the tide in my favor. Day by day, I'm drawing on the Father's fire that lives within. Little by little, I'm gaining the upper hand. Yeah. Little by little, I'm taking the victory. Come on, take your victory. Come on, take your victory. Little by little, I'm turning the tide in my favor. Try to pull me down. Sickness and pain may trouble me. Sorrow and heart may weigh me down. Brokenness and fear, they try to pull me back. Yeah. Now I know I have authority. In thy name I will not name. Wasting no more time.
Thank you so much, music team. That was woo! Little by little, little by little. Anyway, thank you so much for your generosity. Proverbs 11:25 says, "The generous soul will be made rich, and he who waters will also be watered himself." So may God water you. And right about now, we're about to get into the word by our very own pastors, Stuart and Lisa Bumble. Oh my God, you ain't ready for this. You ain't ready for this. You ain't ready for this. Fasten your seatbelt, somebody, because your riches as a couple are gonna. Jesus Christ, what's going on? Anyway, guys, be blessed as you are ministered unto. God bless you.
Good morning, good morning. So glad to be here. So happy to have you for Business Garage this morning. As mentioned during the interview, my name is Stuart Sebombo, and
My name is Elizabeth. I have a Sebombo.
yes, together we are the Sebombos, and we are so excited to bring the word this morning. I'll start off by sending online greetings to some of our very humble employees and fans of the businesses. The News, Job and Jesse, Kajambo, I hope you are awake and well. To the newest Sekawere, Uncle Kamara, we are so glad to have you on board. To Salongo Bukenya, who leads several businesses. To the Mutabingwas and other fellow adult youth, you're very welcome to Online Garage this morning. Yes, as earlier mentioned, we've been married close to 4 years. 4 years in October. As per Lizzie's version, my version goes way back. The moment I saw her, I knew that she was the one. Yeah, but it's been awesome. God has been faithful. And we've gotten so much favor and opportunities to lead in the same spaces together. We currently work in 4 businesses together, partnering with other people in some of the businesses. That is Elfim's Events, Runji Spaces, Sinza Construction, and Refine Limited, People and Place. Yes, and we have not always worked in the businesses completely. The moment we got married, a few months afterwards in 2016, I talked to my mentor, who was also my boss, and I discussed with her my decision to leave work and focus completely on what we're trying to build. And then Elizabeth as well left former employment only in 2018 when she decided to focus on Elfim's. And it's really been a journey of faithfulness since then and growth. Yes.
Okay. Just like Stuart has said, we got married on 8th October. Now, 8th October is the day before independence. It's the day before 9th October, which is Independence Day. And when we're getting married and choosing the date, in our minds, we're going to finally be free, finally be independent. Yeah. So that was the whole logic behind the date we got married. And this independence was independence from questions, independence from accountability. We had, in our minds, we knew what we wanted to do with our lives, and we had a proper plan. We had good plans for ourselves in this life that we were starting together. And the idea in our heads was just the two of us, hashtag just the two of us against the world. This was our thing that we were building. We didn't need anyone peeping into our business. Yeah. So that was the idea that we had, and this is something that even not just between married people, but many times we have this idea of I'm building my cat thing. It's my cat thing alone. Let them wait. They are not. The world is not ready for me. Yeah. So that's the idea we have when sometimes we are starting these businesses. And today we are going to talk about accountability, which is, I believe, one of the things that has helped us grow so much. Yeah. And the scripture that we are going to read today is Matthew 25, which is a scripture that we've read over and over again in Business Garage. Matthew 25, 14 to 29. Verse 14. For the kingdom of heaven is like a man traveling to a far country, who called his own servants and delivered his goods to them. And to one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, to another 1, to each according to his own ability. And immediately he went on a journey. Then he who had received the 5 talents went and traded with them, and made another 5 talents. And likewise, he who had received 2 gained 2 more also. But he who had received 1 went and dug in the ground and hid the Lord's money. After a long time, the Lord of the servants came and settled accounts with them. So he who had received 5 talents came and brought 5 other talents, saying, Lord, you delivered to me 5 talents? Look, I have gained 5 more talents beside them. His Lord said to him, Well done, good and faithful servant. You are faithful over a few things, I will make you ruler over many things. Enter into the joy of your Lord. He also who had 2 talents came and said, Lord, you delivered to me 2 talents. Look, I have gained 2 more talents beside them. His Lord said to him, Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful over a few things. I will make you ruler over many things. Enter into the joy of your Lord. Then he who had received the 1 talent came and said, Lord, I knew you to be a hard man, reaping where you have not sown and gathering where you have not scattered seed. And I was afraid and went and hid your talent in the ground. Look, there you have what is yours. But his Lord answered and said to him, You wicked and lazy servant, you knew that I reap where I have not sown and gather where I have not scattered seed. You ought to have deposited my money with the bankers, and at my coming I would have received back my own with interest. Therefore take the talent from him and give it to him who has 10 talents. For to everyone who has more will be given, and he will have abundance. But from him who does not have, even what he has will be taken away. Yeah.
Wow. Looking at this parable of the talents, one of the things concerning accountability that we focused on was this relationship between the steward and the master. Putting myself in those shoes of the steward, as steward, the good steward, one thing came to mind concerning accountability. Accountability can simply be seen as being answerable for your actions. Yeah. Being answerable for your actions. You know, why do you do what you do? Can you give a report as to why you have done what you have done? And so when I look at the steward and the master, I look at someone who has been given something for which he's supposed to act and then report on the outcome of his actions. On the outcome of his actions. Yeah. And it's amazing because the first master that I look at as a person who believes in God is God himself. The one who has given me every ability that I have, the one who has given me every idea that I have. And so the first case of accountability that really we can think about is accountability to God. Yeah. Before anything else. Yeah. As much as we, symbolize 9th October as us stepping over into being finally free Ugandans. Everything we had was not really ours. And even the marriage itself was not just for our enjoyment, but there was a mandate. Yeah. The one who gives the marriage. Yeah. Even in the business, there is that one who has given you that idea. There is that one you have to recognize as the one who has planted the idea that you have, the thing that you set out to start. And it helps a lot when you see your business in that perspective, that it is God himself who has placed it into your hands. Yeah. It's like that talent that the master has given to you. And sometimes you may judge the business based on how big it is or how small it is, and think that if it's so small, then it is Micah thing. When it becomes big enough, then I can finally get the reports in order. I can finally let people in on what is really happening. And that's one of the things that really crippled the businesses in their early stages. Like Elizabeth said, when you compare Runji Spaces, which is just 3 months old, and then you compare Refine or Elthemes, which is about 6 years old, you can clearly see the difference that transparency and accountability brings about.
Yeah, yeah.
And there are three main points that we want to bring about when it comes to accountability to God.
To God.
That's the first one, is recognizing the one who gives the ideas, the one who gives the passions, the one to whom you're answerable, the one to whom you're answerable, and that is God himself. As a Christian, you have to realize that the thing that you have started has not been started by you per se. Unfortunately, you're not that bright. You're not that clearly. You're not that sharp. Trust me. And when you realize that there is one who has planted that idea, the conception is of the Holy Spirit.
Yeah, yeah.
The conception is of the Holy Spirit. Then you really acknowledge that you're answerable actually. It doesn't matter how small the business is, but because you have started it, you acknowledge that there is one who has planted the idea.
Yeah.
And so you have to start that journey of knowing that at the end of the day, I have to go to God and tell him, you know what? This is what you gave me. This is what has come of it.
Yeah.
And for us, that's one of the things that has really helped us to know that the thing that we have,
Yeah.
we are going to give account of it. It doesn't matter how small we think, to each according to the
His
capacity.
capability.
To each according
Yeah.
to 1-5. Then there was one who was given 1. So I can't just look at another couple and say, those guys have a bigger business, so the systems they are building or whatnot, it's for them. You cannot disregard something that God has given you. Everything God created is beautiful. It doesn't matter if it's a Rolex stand. It doesn't matter if it's an art studio.
Yeah.
If you acknowledge that it is God who has given it to you, then you will move it the same way God would have moved it.
Yeah. That's
And then the second thing is appreciating the gifts that you have been given. To appreciate a gift is not to whisper about it. When you appreciate your wife, like I do mine, you will talk about her wherever you go. I remember why I consider them not to be 4 years is because I remember we had a concert in 2010. I knew about 5 chords on the guitar, but it didn't really matter. I invited her, and I made sure to... yeah. And I made sure to invite my mother as well. So I made it a point, she's the one that I want to marry. That happened in 2010.
wow.
I appreciated the fact that what I had gotten was worth, putting out there and telling people, no, we're not a mugenda. There is the plan. There is a plan for this one. And so when you look at your gift and despise it, then you'll not see it for the potential that it has.
Yeah.
You will not see it for the potential that it has. When you look at a gift and appreciate it, by remembering the one who has given it first of all, and knowing that there is nothing feeble that he gives, there is no weakness in him, there is no darkness in him. So you will see that gift with those same eyes. It doesn't matter what it is. You will acknowledge that the thing that he has given you is precious, no matter what it looks like now. And so you desire to give the very best of yourself in that thing.
Yeah.
And then the third thing, of course, is growing, to be fruitful in it. One of the ways we are accountable to God is by saying, okay, the numbers were this last year. This year we have done this, and these are the new numbers.
Yeah.
We didn't just go and plant it. There's a proverb that says, a lazy man says there's a lion roaming the streets. As I say, there are no things that you can say that, no, we don't have the capacity, because you know the one to whom you're accountable. You know that he's a good master. He expects of you.
Yeah.
He expects of you. It's not like he has given to you and then, of course, he loves you. But because he loves you, he expects of you.
Yeah.
He expects for you to multiply that business and to grow that business.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the second thing after accountability to God is accountability to each other.
Yeah.
To each other. Proverbs 27, verse 23. Be diligent to know the state of your flocks and attend to your herds. When we were starting these businesses, at first Elthims was my thing, Refine was his thing, but then we realized that we are passionate about the same things. We are creatives, we are, so we were very quick to be accountable to each other and realize the roles we play in each other's businesses. To know each other's strengths. Stuart is very strong at client relations. He's very nice to the clients. He's very good at pricing. It's very hard for me to charge people sometimes. He's good at the technical work and teaching the people we employ. I'm a bit impatient. Yeah, so he's more patient, he teaches, and yeah. And my strengths are financial management, keeping the records, administration, sticking to the line.
Without Liz, I could have given all the money back.
Yeah. So we have come to appreciate that just because we are creatives, we don't have to sit together on the computer to draw the plan, but to know how what we bring to the table individually. And when Stuart asks for a site report, I am not going to be like, you're disturbing me. No, it is my responsibility. It is my responsibility as an employee in the business to make sure that my work is done. Yeah. So being very accountable to each other. If he wins, I win. We all win. So that's one thing that we have been very intentional about. Yeah. To know the state of our flock at any particular time. Not by sitting and counting together, but by capitalizing on our different strengths. Yeah.
I guess the other thing about being accountable to each other is not to be so critical, if I can say, if someone comments on how your flocks are. If I look at Elthims, as much as I'm not a partner in Elthims individually, I can advise. I can say, okay, you know what, this is what other companies are doing, so why don't you do this and this? And she won't feel like I'm, getting into her space, or I'm attacking her, or things like that. But at the same time, I will acknowledge when work has been done well, even in the work that she does. Just because she's my wife or she's employed, I don't go like, oh yeah, that's expected of you, things like that. The same way I acknowledge when another employee is excellent, is the same way I acknowledge her when she's excellent at what she does. And I can give a story as Refine. When I just started working out, because Refine, the way Refine started is, I had these dreams and I realized my pay was not going to cut it. I was spending more time in the office and yet I was getting more open doors. And so sometimes I would stay up to like 1 a.m. at the office doing my work after office time. Yeah. And so I have an awesome mentor in my boss, Architect Phyllis. If you're watching, thank you for the seeds that you planted. She was open to discussing and saying, okay, how can I help Stuart to understand that he can go and then work as an associate architect with the company, but also get time to do his own work and build his dreams. Yeah. Because I was involved in music, I would have rehearsals probably in the afternoons and things like that. And that just could not work in a formal setting of me sitting from 8 to 5. Yeah. But the other thing that came with is, as I wanted to get myself out there so much that sometimes I would start work without pay. So on paper, I would have so much revenue, but then there's no food at home. And so whenever Liz would ask me, yeah, I am busy, I'm carrying work home, but there's nothing to show. And so people look at the architect and he's smart. I always have a smile on my face when I'm playing the guitar. They don't know that sometimes I've walked to church, they don't know that sometimes I've slept hungry. And so they can't connect. Sometimes maybe Liz is sad, Stuart is very happy, I'm very optimistic. So I feel like, it will come, the money will come, things like that. But then she would sit me down and tell me, dude, you're trying to do this, but it can't work. As much as you're nice to people, as much as you're trying to put yourself out there, there has to be some finances that come in. And at first I felt attacked. Like, can't you see that I'm working hard? Ability to each other then made more sense. I stopped being more defensive, I started being more welcoming to the comments, and so it was really, really helpful. Yes. The other level of accountability that has really helped us as a business, as a family working together, as a couple working together in business, has been being accountable to a mentor or a coach. And the journey to being accountable to a mentor or a coach started in 2018. That's when we joined something called Gang. And when you join Gang, you get the opportunity to meet other business owners. You get the opportunity to share numbers. There is a certain month where you do just finances. And so you share numbers with other Gang members. It's a mentorship class that the leadership at Worship Harvest takes on with the youth. It's a whole year of just being in your space and being in your face and asking you those uncomfortable questions. So getting into Gang, we had to show what our businesses were doing. And it was really, really helpful. For us. So even when we failed, we'd brush it off and say, I will cover this failure with another expense or something. But when we came into Gang, you had to mention how much money you're making per day. There is a month where we had to mention how much money you're making per day, how much money you're giving away, whether you've opened accounts, all those different things that were quite uncomfortable. But we thank God because they helped us to learn to be accountable and to be transparent. And in that same year, that's when straightforward financial growth started. I think at least for us, that was the first time we attended a straightforward financial growth series.
Yes.
Oh my. We were very sad at the end of that first series because we realized that we had worked for quite a few years, but there was really nothing to show. We had eaten the business money, the numbers were in shambles, the liabilities were really high. We said we're making so much money, but it will all go into liabilities. And so sharing numbers, because they are straightforward financial growth tools, SFFG tools that are shared during the series, things to do with determining your income streams, things to do with determining your net worth and working it out, and then sharing with the team and sharing with the person who is mentoring you, coaching you. And that opened our eyes to how we were really playing around with what God had given to us. We were really playing around all those years. But it was a starting point. It was a starting point to remember that we needed help.
Yeah.
We could not do this on our own. Yes.
And the coach that we got, or our coach right now, he's someone we are very open with. Someone who will challenge you in a loving way, but still you will go away knowing that we need to do something about this.
Yes.
And this would not, if we were not transparent, if we were hiding the numbers, if we were not open to learning, one thing that we decided to do was to just soak ourselves in information and learn and read books and listen to people that we know something about business.
Yes.
To stop thinking this is our thing, but to start working on the business and not working in the business. Yeah. So a business coach has really, really helped us.
Yes.
A lot. And being accountable to him, knowing that he's helping us grow. It is for our own good that we actually listen and implement. We have all these assignments. We go back. When you come back the next time for the next session, you're asked, we decided this and this. How far have you gone? What have you done about it? And because we have been learning, I think that's why Runji Spaces has taken off so much faster than all these other businesses that we started before. Because from the word go, we know that we need an organizational structure. We know that we have clear roles. We know that the businessman is the businessman. If you're getting paid, you're getting a salary. Everything is in order. And the people that we have started Runji Spaces with are also people of the same mind. They're people willing, Sarah and Alan Muhumza. They are reading books as well. Like, we are sharing knowledge from the different spaces we are in. And at the end of the day, being very accountable to our coach.
Yes.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, we have to, we have to present what we are doing. Yeah.
And with the same intention to be accountable to a mentor or to a coach, we have started the same system in the businesses themselves. The people that we work with have also attended, they attended the SFFG seminar last year. So they understand when we try to tell them why the business is growing this, is growing this fast. They have also started teaching other people the same things that they have learned at SFFG.
Yeah.
And so it has really been humbling
Discipleship.
to admit that you don't know.
Yeah.
Because it's the first thing really, to admit that you don't know how this system is supposed to work, to learn from other businesses that have gone before us, because we have the honor and the privilege of having people amidst us who have really, gone the distance. And they have the numbers, they have the structures to show for the success of their businesses, and they have opened up their spaces. They are not like, how people send mobile money and then they hide the balance.
Stuart. Yeah.
Well, I find no point in hiding my balance because many times it's not a lot. Don't want someone to come and steal from me or anything. But they have opened their books to us. And we really find it very honoring and find that favor before people that they open their books and tell you, this year I did this, I've grown to this year because of this and this and this. I mean, if you're in a space where all your friends are bringing in 500,000 per month, of course that is going to be your upper limit.
Yes.
And if you don't have a mentor or a coach to push you, to show you what the businesses could really be, what the potential is for the businesses, then you'll think that you have really made it when you move from 100K to 1 million, and then someone tells you that, you know what, we are shooting for 500 million a month. And you wonder, wait, what am I really doing? And so there is that stretching that space has brought before us. I mean, all the businesses that we see on Business Garage, ordinary people who love Jesus. Some people think that you can't be on fire for God and be a very successful business person. But these are guys who will challenge you both on the side of ministry and challenge you in business.
Yeah.
There are people who are preaching, every week, and then you go into their numbers, and they are also winning. So you can't have any excuse. There are people who are excellent, in these other things that people call co-curricular activities.
Yeah.
And they're excellent in the numbers as well. So there cannot be any excuse. Yeah. And the other thing from the coaching that we have realized is it is okay to try and fail. It is okay. But start. There are, like Runji spaces, it's not that we thought about this idea, this year, and then started it. No. Both for us and the Muhumuzas, it has been an idea that has been going for over a year. But because of the spaces we are in, people challenging you, write down the thing you're going to start. You can't show up again and you've not started it because you'll be wasting their time as well. So it has been extremely, extremely helpful. You're humbled to know that I don't know. But again, you're encouraged, you're challenged to stretch. You're challenged to know better. And so it has been one of the fundamental things that have helped us to be transparent, to learn to be answerable, to learn to be humble, and know that what we have is not just for us. Hiding the numbers does not help. And God will give you the discernment to know the mentor. Because not everyone is a mentor, of course. But to know the person to reach out to and to see how they can pull you up. Yes.
Accountability to the business. And this is the last point we are talking about today. We have recently been learning to treat the business as a person.
As a child.
To not be the business. To know that the day I am not available, Elthims can still do an event and it will go very successfully. To know that if Refine has 100 houses to do, Stuart is not going to stay up the whole night drawing because he has passed on his skill to other people. So accountability to the business to make sure that the business is growing. You are growing it. And this also ties to the scripture that we read in Matthew 25, being faithful in what you have been given. Also, one other thing, when we started Elthims, it was just me, really, and Stuart carrying tables, and along the way we brought on partners because we realized that this was not going to grow bigger than us if we were just doing it ourselves. So at the time that I left my job, I knew Elthims was making money. I was getting more money than my salary from Elthims, but I didn't know the exact money. I just knew it was a lot. And this is because I was not really accountable to anyone. So when we brought on these partners, my very good friends Lona and Sanyu, now it was very clear that we had to keep the records. Everyone knew how much money was coming in, how much money we were spending, where we were headed, because now it was not just accountability to Liz and Lona and Sanyu, but accountability to Elthims. And when we did this, now it was tricky, because before, it was my money. I would keep it. Yeah. But now, when we were now 3, I didn't know what happens to the money. So we're just keeping money. And no one was getting paid. Then, now this is where the coach came in and it's like, no, you're working, get paid a salary. Let's start with, and then we realized, hey, wait, this is how businesses work.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it was like a light bulb moment, but just being accountable to the business. We have realized that the businesses where we have partners, they are growing a lot faster than the businesses where it's just the two of us or, our things. Because as much as Stuart has his strengths, I have my strengths, we both have weaknesses which are shared. Yeah. Which are like shared. And maybe something I could share was in our personal finances, and now this is not business, but in our personal finances, every time we would attend SFFG and, we would be on fire, and the first 3 months we are saving every day, then along the line, we just keep going down. Then after that, after you've attended another session, you're on fire. And so earlier this year when we realized, no, we can't keep, we have to be consistent, we were very quick to reach out to a couple which is very, which is very strict on investment and savings, and we're like, guys, this is what we plan, hold us accountable. This is how much we want to save every month. Like, cool, please send us receipts every time you send. Every time you send your money to the different savings accounts and investment clubs. And that has helped us so much because we don't want to be asked why we are not saving. So being very accountable to them has helped us personally, and this cuts through to businesses as well. Like what's going to help you personally usually helps the business as well, because now the business is a person. So treating it like a person and being accountable to the partners, to the directors, to everyone involved in the business. And of course, not everyone should be involved in the business. God gives you the discernment to know which people to bring closer to you, which people to work with, and And also another thing about accountability in the business is being accountable to the people we employ. To know that it doesn't help when we don't pay the employees. We have to be accountable to them, to know that when maybe on the construction sites there are like 20 guys, they are representing their 20 families. So if we hold back and are not growing, we are also stopping their growing process. So to be open with them, show them what we are doing, show them how they can also grow from that being a potter and a mason to, to growing. So being accountable to the business is being accountable to the partners, to the directors, and to the employees as well.
Nothing about being accountable to the business. If you look at some of the oldest businesses, like Hoshi Ryokan in Japan, which has been there for over from like the 700s up to now, one of the things that has caused them to be, successful is trust. Trust and transparency, which is an element of accountability itself.
Yes,
as when you're employing family members, for instance, you have to trust them.
Yeah.
It's a family member, so you don't look at competence first.
Yeah.
You look at trust. Are they willing to walk this whole journey with me? Are they going to be
grow.
loyal? Are they willing to grow?
Yeah.
But the same way, you look at the other employees who are non-family members, in terms of trusting, you have to care genuinely for their character.
Yeah.
As much as you may front their competence and whatnot, care for their character. Let them know that they trust you. Let them know that you care for their personal growth. Just them bring in the numbers and, let them understand that the business is not just to make you wealthy.
It's to grow you.
Yes. So the question that I want to ask, before you ask your questions as well, I believe that you've been asking questions even during this whole, encounter, but I want to ask you, do you think you're being accountable in your business as a couple? Are you answerable to anyone as your business? So are you still taking it as your thing? Yeah. Go ahead, go on and ask as many questions as you can online. I don't know if they can show us the questions that are coming in. Elizabeth, do you have anything to add?
Basically, accountability. Accountability. That's what we've been trying to put across in this sermon.
Yeah.
Accountability. Yeah.
Yes. Awesome.
Like, wow. Are you guys normal? You're not. Quite clearly. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, the Sebombos, awesome message. Awesome. Please ask questions. We have just a couple of minutes to go. Ask questions to do with accountability. I see there's been a lot of conversations going on. And wow, accountability. Questions, comments. Let me see what's going on online here. I'm on YouTube. Angela is going to join me right now. I'm on Facebook. Angela is joining me on YouTube as we work through this accountability. I said accountability. Fortunate Trust says, I wish we could all practice it. Accountability. Whoa. Walter Wandera says, accountability. Chiboko, accountability. To God and to partners, to mentors and coaches. Accountability. Dr. Eunice Adubango says, thank you, saints. How do I get access to SFFG? Contact Dora. Dora's phone number has been shared on the Facebook stream many times. Accountability. I'm looking for questions. Accountability. Eating the babies of your business. Ooh. Accountability. Someone's son is in ICU. They need a miracle. Thank you, Jesus, for that miracle. We declare and decree it in Jesus' name. Amen. How did the Sebombos decide how much to pay each other as salary from businesses?
We did a comprehensive salary scale. So when we were doing organizational structures for our different businesses, we have the board, the CEO, the directors, the managers, these people might not be there physically now, but we know that those are the roles that need to happen to grow the business. And then we did a salary scale. If you're at managerial level, how much do you get? If you are at officer level, how much do you get? And then, depending on the roles in which we are, that's how much we earn. Yeah.
These guys can run a country. Angela, do you have any questions from YouTube?
No. The question was, when is the next? One is asking when the next SFFG is, and I think Dora's number needs to be shared on YouTube to find out when the next. Okay, so there's a question here from George Kateriga. Thanks for the great open sharing. What are the differences between service-based versus product-based businesses?
All
Behavior.
right.
Wow.
So, maybe if I can answer that. Service-based, as a graduate architect, I am the designer. When you hear people saying I freelance, that means they are the business. They're offering a service. They don't have a phone that you can multiply into various units.
Yeah.
Because the phone is a product. I cannot multiply myself unless I train other people. But that's the service that you offer.
Yeah.
When you have a product, you can go and make 1,000 of these, and they'll be sold, across. So that's genuinely the difference between service and product based.
Wow.
My
Perfecto.
gosh.
Perfecto.
Yeah.
I think we're going to take only those two questions. Let's appreciate the seven goals. Whoa! When I grow up, I want to be like you.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Angela.
Thank you. Yes.
I've been thinking. Accountability. 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 Accountability.
Accountability.
Accountability.
Accountability.
Accountability.
Accountability.
I said accountability.
Accountability.
To God and
To partners, to mentors, to coaches.
Accountability.
Hey.
Accountability. You answer from me. Accountability.
Accountability.
I said accountability.
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 To God and to partners, to mentors and coaches. Accountability.
Accountability.
Check out, sir.
Accountability.
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 That's what we're talking about.
Accountability. Accountability.
Accountability.
Accountability.
I said to God and to partners, to mentors and coaches. Accountability.
Accountability.
I said accountability.
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 To God and to partners, to mentors and coaches. Accountability.
Accountability.
I said accountability.
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 To God and to partners,
Mentors and coaches. Accountability.
Do you have something for these people who are watching us right now?
Yes, I do. God is calling us to expansion. God is calling us to growth. God is calling us to a space where the children of God are going to shine. So he's been telling us to add value. He's now telling us to be accountable. He's calling us to get partners, to get coaches, to expand our capacity. Because friends, 2020 is not a dead year. 2020 is your year. So God has spoken to you today. Find those partners, find a coach. Be professional. Get professionalized. Start paying your taxes. Start paying salaries. God is calling us to expansion. As the teaching was happening, there are a couple of people you are feeling like flutters in your stomach because you're feeling like I've been doing things so wrong. But that's why the word has come for you today, because today is your day to start doing it the right way. There is still time. God is giving us a period of grace to grow. Friends, in December, there's going to be testimonies of Ugandan businesses owned by kingdom children. So do it. Just start doing that thing. Start being professional. Start expanding. Allow yourself to increase your capacity.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. If you keep it close to the chest, it's going to be small.
Yes.
You have to open it up. You have to be accountable. You have to be accountable to God, like they said, to one another. If you're a couple, to your spouse. If you have business partners, to your partners. Find a mentor. Find a coach. Coaches are different from mentors. Coaches ask you questions that make you better With mentors, you ask questions that make you better. When you go to see your mentor, don't waste their time. Don't go and start talking about football and the weather. They will not pick your call the next time unless you're a footballer or a weather forecaster. When you go to see a mentor, go with a list of well-researched questions that you're going to ask them as you spend time with them. Don't waste your mentor's time. Don't waste your mentor's time. Don't waste your mentor's time.
Don't waste your mentor's time. Don't waste your mentor's time.
Don't waste your mentor's time. I say don't waste your mentor's time. You know why I say that? A lot of people say, I don't have a mentor. I'm looking for a mentor. Hey, mentors are hard to find. Mentors are not hard to find if you do the right thing. Just don't waste your mentor's time. So that's what you should do. So the theme for today is again what? Accountability. Accountability.
Accountability.
Accountability.
Accountability.
I say to God and to
partners,
to mentors and coaches. Accountability. I'm walking by faith. I'm walking by faith and not by sight. Each day that's my new identity. Behold, man is gone. Behold, all things are new. That's my new identity. Hey, I'm walking by faith and not by sight. Each day that's my new identity. The old man is gone. Behold, all things are new. That's my new identity. I said accountability. Accountability.
accountability.
I said accountability, everybody.
Accountability.
To God, to partners,
To mentors, to
coaches, accountability.
Accountability.
Friends, God bless you so much. Thanks so much for joining us this morning for Business Garage. The best is yet to come. Your business is going to grow. Set up the systems. Be accountable. Find those people that can help you grow. The difference between your current season and your next season is a person you haven't met yet. So God bless you. And see you next Sunday at 7:30 a.m. for Business Garage. Accountability. I said accountability. Accountability.